Hi there, my name is Justine Chichester, and I play Rebecca Tausig in What If Works' production of Sitting Pretty. The show also stars Sean Buller, LaQuantus Morton, and Jennifer Lopez, and is directed by Philip Church. The show centers around Rebecca Tausig's memoir, Sitting Pretty, and is a verbatim script from her chapter 3, More Than a Defect, in the book. Being a part of this production and a part of this cast has been so wonderful because we are bringing themes that Rebecca talks about in her book to life on stage. Themes of disability, inclusion, representation, and ableism. Important things that audiences need to see, but in creative and innovative ways. We're teaching about these themes through our performances. And I think it's so important because this has impacted my life and may impact someone else's life along the way. I suffered a spinal cord injury in 2014 when I fell in front of my house and became a paraplegic. I use a wheelchair and a walker. In the show, the three of us, three ladies who are wheelchair users, are the collective voices of Rebecca Tausig's chapter 3, More Than a Defect. The show was incredibly challenging for me because I have the bulk of the dialogue. I basically have an hour and 20-minute monologue. I'm the one who speaks for the majority of the show. So just knowing that I had to memorize all of those lines was challenging. But once I sort of found the motivation behind the scenes and what she was trying to portray, it became a lot easier. Once we started rehearsals, there was a new challenge that was presented to me, which was I had to be on stage in my wheelchair. Before this, I was an able-bodied actress. I have my BFA from FIU. I studied theater at FIU in the 90s. Philip Church, our director for this show, was one of my professors and one of my directors at the time. So I was used to using my body on stage and being on my feet. And this was the first time that I was acting from my wheelchair. This is the first time I have done any acting living with a disability. So I didn't realize it, but once we started rehearsals and I was on stage trying to say lines, and it was a whole new experience, and I had to sort of relearn how to express myself as an actress in the character, not to use my hands too much. I know that became a thing. So it definitely posed a physical challenge. It was emotional for me as well. I couldn't act in the way that I used to, but I found new ways of expressing myself, which was really, really interesting. So the challenges were difficult, but I definitely overcame them, and it was so worthwhile. I think that audiences can expect from our production of Sitting Pretty an experience that is thought-provoking, interesting, and also kind of funny along the way. And the best part is that you're a part of the experience, which makes it even more interesting. And you take something with you along the way about living with disabilities and about inclusion and what ableism really means. And the fact that it is so interactive makes it all the more meaningful, I think. So it's a wonderful experience for audiences and for actors. We've had the best time putting the show together and learning from each other and from Rebecca Tausig, the author of Sitting Pretty. The student who researches the history of institutionalization and concludes her presentation with a stunning and insightful description of the larger patterns of exclusion and erasure surrounding the disability community. Oh, the day we Skype with writer, pole dancer, wheelchair user, and self-proclaimed international sex icon, Erin Clark. One of my students asks her,
"Do you wish there was a cure for your disability?"
Erin answers honestly, with raw reflection and rich complexity, and my students get to watch her waltz gracefully through this gray area without getting the easy answer they expected. Around mid-semester, star of the soccer team, Adam, visits my office.
I've been trying to have an open mind about this class.
He starts,
But I just can't bring myself to care about anything that we're reading or talking about. I mean, none of this has anything to do with me or would ever matter to me.
I don't know what expression I make with my face or how long I wait before I speak. I'm not surprised he feels this way. He's made his position clear in every conversation and every assignment. I'm just shocked he has no shame in saying it. To my face. When I started teaching this class months before, I'd been fully convinced I was about to teach these kids some of the most valuable, some distance, ready to try something new. But a couple of weeks ago, in my 9th grade English class, it started to feel like the medical and social models of disability were relevant to a book we were working through. So I decided to give the lenses to that group of 14-year-olds because who knows what plant might start pushing its way through the cracks. I adjusted my slides to be a little more 9th grade friendly. I told more stories, showed the same image of the woman at the bottom of the flight of stairs, except this time with speech bubbles. And I didn't expect it to transform their souls or their worlds. And they did their best to apply to the book we were reading. They listened attentively. Most of them didn't grasp the big picture. When I take an elevator to our classroom, the need for walking has been eliminated. My paralysis really isn't a problem in this context. I am not limited in any meaningful way as long as I have an accessible route to get here. In fact, in this room right now, we are all seated. There's no meaningful difference between your body and mine. The kids look even more confused than they did before. I'm starting to feel like I'm giving a lecture on how the royal family are immortal, shape-shifting lizards. The uncertainty I feel from my students makes me question myself. Their resistance to these questions is disorienting because they're not comprehensively wrong. There are parts of my body I feel are a problem I'd like to fix. In fact, even as I type this, I'm having a particularly high pain day. My legs won't stop spasming. They jerk and tense and stiffen and shudder, and the computer resting on top of them keeps getting bumped around. If I'm being completely honest, living with this pain is infuriating. I've done my best to manage the symptoms and all of it.
The pain, the spasm,
the quest for relief,